Community building is one of the most challenging aspects within any business, and having a strong identity is always the greatest foundation. In this Service Please snack, Emeka talks about the power of community and how it helped with so many decisions, but also has been a source of inspiration. What were some of the major elements on that journey which really stand out to you?
Wow. Let's start with the community building. Something that we always were like quite keen to do was just like create something that people could be excited about beyond the food. You know, we always wanted to be more than just about food. You know, community, the culture, you know, opportunity to be fun and light, but at the same time providing knowledge. That was always key to what we were trying to do. You know, we wanted to kind of create a space in particular for the Nigerian community, the diaspora, of, you know, our peers, where they felt comfortable, both physical space, but also a virtual space, you know, where they could feel proud of certain things. And all those who wanted to be part of that journey as well, like, or part of that story. So that community building was important, and yeah, I mean, I always like to mention that I remember the days when we were just, our hope was just to get 10 likes on the Instagram, because when you got 10 likes, then you couldn't see, it got rid of the number, or I think it was, yeah. So like that was like, oh, then no one would really know, like unless they clicked on it, because then even back in then you could still click on it, but at least then it was that obvious.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm pretty happy that we're a little bit beyond that now.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's just such a delight. Like, we have people from different parts of the UK. Some people have never even been to the restaurant outside the country. People who fly in from the country into the country, who be like, oh, like I've got a guy who's been following our journey. He hits me up on DMs, like checks in with me because he doesn't see me. He knows I'm being stressed. You know, I don't know the guy. Yeah, I don't know the guy. Yeah, just been following. Finally comes in from America, and he's come and he's like, oh my god, yeah. You know, so and it's like, man, that's so cool. Like you being just like following.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate that. And obviously kudos to us that we've kind of created something that you wanted to be like support, or you feel that you're a part of that story. Do you know what I mean? I think if we started 10 years ago, trying to build a community would have been so much more difficult, because social media, you know, maybe wasn't as prevalent.
Yeah. And prolific as well, do you know what I mean?
Or at least not even, you know, with Facebook being, at the time, being the more dominant, you know, it wasn't a way to, it was a bit more private. It was like social between your own, you know, smaller network. But it allowed us to amplify what we were doing from literally our mum's house and kitchen into thousands of people's homes and thousands of people to get behind, and that literally fueled that for 4.5 years. And because they were the people that pop-ups. They were the people sharing that, who then got to other people that pop-ups. They were then the people who were then supporting all the crowdfunding. They were the people that we helped to mobilize to amplify that crowdfunding. You know, they energized us in times when we were dark. Like, what are we doing here? You know, we got a bunch of people who are actually really keen to make this happen. You know, it isn't just about us having a restaurant. It's about a lot of people that want us to have a restaurant. You know, that made a big difference, because there was a lot of it's long. Yeah, it was very dark times. You're just thinking, what are you doing here? You don't know what you're doing. You look at this place, wasn't going. You don't have this money. You know, but then seeing that people were really keen for you to make it happen, yeah, made you want to fight that bit more. And also knowing that whenever you did do an event, that you were going to have support, people were going to be there, because they thought the concept was good. Like that was like, you know, it's a rubber stamp from the get-go. Like, we've never, as I said, even from going back to that first one, we didn't have events. You know, of course, we have days and events when where it wasn't always super busy, but there was always people coming through, right? So that was like immediately telling us, you know, affirming that this concept could work. Like, could it work to the extent that we thought it could? Well, we'll only know that when we've got it to, this sort of level. We still haven't got to where we want to get to, but to at least to this level. And that was important because I will step back for the store, because there's a number of people who also didn't really get pop-up concept. Like, what is pop-up? It was a thing for our age group.
Yeah.
People who were very more familiar with the cuisine. But there's having a restaurant has allowed us to be a community for people who just want to go to different restaurants, for people who want a space to host their birthday, who want a space to come for Mother's Day, who are from the local area and just want to come to a restaurant in their local area, which you can't get all those avenues of community building when you're doing a pop-up. It's a different type of person. So
it's a different conversation as well.
Yeah, it's a different conversation. Yeah. This one, I say that community building, because that stemmed that us wanting to be a community, having a community, then also informed our choice about where we were trying to open. We wanted to open in a place where we felt we could be of service to the community, where maybe there wasn't a whole plethora of restaurants, where we thought people would, be proud to come and enjoy this space and, patronize the space, which meant that we then discounted the likes of Shoreditch and Central London. Not because they're bad areas for a restaurant, but because we didn't think there would be the areas where we could build a community around. They're more kind of...
And add the value that you wanted to add.
Yeah, and add the value that we wanted to add.
I hope you enjoyed that snack from the full episode. If you could tell one other person about this podcast, or even use their phone to like, follow, and share, it would be much appreciated. You can also go one step further and become a patron of this podcast via www.serviceplease.io. Any monthly contributions will help amplify the voices of the hospitality and wider food industry, enabling more people to understand the innovations and daily struggles of one of the most dynamic sectors, and of course, the tastiest.